Rev up your engines! Well, you want to know what Honda's up to? Here's a 2023 Civic Type R. It's only got 300 miles. You just picked it up. They're amazing little race cars, but they got 4 doors, so you can put your kids in them too. And believe me, your kids will probably love it. Now, they only make a limited amount of these, so there's one big drawback, and that's the price, all right? They list for around 40 something. Well, yeah, okay, you paid 60 for this. You're gonna pay money. I saw people on the East Coast pay over 75 grand for these things. They aren't cheap, but if you can get them at least close to MSRP, you're gonna do okay, because these things are already collector's items when you buy them brand new. Most people don't put that many miles on them. What's behind these things is all the technology that Honda's got, and it is a real miniature race car. The red color isn't just for show. These things really go. I do like the red Brembo brakes though. Does set them off. But the main thing, of course, is under the hood. There it is. The 2-liter 4-cylinder Type R screaming race engine. It is a 2-liter engine, so it's not a tiny engine. And it is a Honda. So, they've proven so far to be extremely reliable as long as you change the oil frequently. It's not like you got a little 1.1 or 1.3 liter 3-cylinder engine with a turbo that's going to blow itself up. Honda's been making turbocharged engines along with their Acura brand. They're still Hondas for quite some time, for decades. And they've got it pretty much bulletproof. Now, this little bitty engine puts out 315 horsepower out of 2 liters. I remember when they used to say, oh, it'll be a miracle if we ever get 100 horsepower per liter. Well, this gets a lot more than 100 horsepower per liter, and it can take it. Really a phenomenal bit of engineering that Honda's putting out here. And much to Honda's kudos. These aren't like Toyota where, oh, their sports car is a rebadged BMW or it's a rebadged Subaru. This is a Honda. Honda makes them, and they hold up. As we go inside here, you'll see made in Japan. And as we go inside, it's got a nice cockpit. Solid door. Of course, it's a 6-speed individual setup. Sport. Got your automatic charger for your phone. Just lay it down there. Nice charging, USB ports. Really comfortable racing seats. Man, I could just sit here all day, not even moving, having fun. And as we go to the back, yes, it does have back seats. And this one's back pretty far in the front, and there's still a lot of room. Now, the early Type R's, not so much room in the back. The whole family came in this thing. It's comfortable. It's not like the earlier ones. It's less insane race interior and more comfy. Now, here's some interesting information. You can see it was assembled in Japan, and the transmission came from Japan, but the engine was made in USA, in Ohio. They make the engines in Ohio. And let's face the facts, you're not going to get too many 315 horsepower engines that could get 28 miles a gallon on the highway. Of course, that's if you keep it in 6th gear going 55, 60 miles an hour. If you can control yourself, this little engine can get decent gas mileage. If you drive it like I drive it, you'd probably get more like 10. And that's real gas mileage figures. Because when I had Mustangs, Ford used to give me Mustangs before they got mad at me for saying bad things about them. They'd be rated for 20-something miles a gallon on a highway, and I was getting like 9 or 10. This thing really can get 28 miles a gallon. Now, for a little bit of Civic, check it out. You can fit a couple of people in here if you wanted to. There's a lot of room, but of course, when the seats go back, you can actually carry stuff with it. You bring some sheetrock or something, you can fit it in here and slide it around. Better stay the heck away from speed bumps and potholes, because these are low-profile tires, baby. Yes, they handle like mad, but they will also break and shatter if you hit big potholes. So he paid $1,200 extra for the insurance. So if the rims break, the tires break, they gotta replace them for free. And believe you me, if you're gonna get a setup like this, you better well pay for that, because doesn't matter where you live, the roads are full of potholes. The roads here in Tennessee are much better than the pothole-filled ones when I go to Rhode Island, but still you're driving around. It doesn't take much to destroy these low-profile tires and these very expensive rims. So you can buy one of these, do buy the insurance. Normally, I'm death against those insurance things, but the tires, they can't wheedle their way out of it, because if they break or they're bent, they gotta replace them. That's what the insurance is for. They can't say, you're not covered for that pothole, it was too big. They gotta pay out. All the customers I ever had that bought those, not a single one has been refused to get tires or rims when they break, when they paid for that insurance. So if you're going to drive these, you really should buy that, or you're going to be buying a whole bunch of tires and rims, and you'll wish you'd bought the insurance. So it's got a warranty on the wheels and tires for 5 years or 60,000 miles. And from my experience with these things, most guys, they don't want to put too many miles on them, so probably 5 years will come before the 60,000 miles. But it's something you really got to think about. Normally, I don't like those warranties, but in this case, you better get one if you drive them on regular roads full of potholes. So let's take it for a spin. It does have one of these stupid electric parking brakes, which I hate, but what can you do? It's got a really nice backup camera. And here we go. You can see you got a lot of gauge information. Check it out. It's pretty cool, and you can play around with that to your heart's content. Got the big speedometer in the middle, reading digitally, and the tach to the left. So you get your information really fast. You don't have to take your eyes off the road much. Now realize it is a Type R, so you're gonna feel the road. This is a racing car. This isn't a smooth riding car. If you want a Civic that's got a smoother ride, get a Civic Si. You're gonna pay a lot less money and you'll be happier with the smoother ride. But of course, it doesn't go anything like what this thing is gonna do. Now he's got in a comfort zone here, so we're gonna mess around with the drive mode and we're gonna put it in the sport mode instead. We want to have some fun. We don't care if it's bumpy. Anyways, this road isn't too bumpy. You can hear that engine kick in. We're gonna do Type R mode. And look at all the cool graphics, but it's more than that. Here we go to our little racetrack in the sky. We're only headed there, but we'll be there soon. And there's no one behind us, so we'll come to a little stop, and we'll wait till that guy's a little bit further ahead of us. And here we go. This thing is fun to drive. Woo! Listen to that engine. And yeah, as I said, we're bouncing around a little, even though it's a smooth road, because we got it in the heart. This is for driving like a race car. This thing is tight, I can just feel it. We had the traction control on. Well, now we've turned it off, so. But I gotta tell you, I could just drive all day long listening to that engine. It's got a nice sound. Who would think a 4-cylinder engine would sound so good? Oh, listen to that thing. Basically, I'll never buy this car because I'd end up in jail. So a whole lot of fun's to be had in these, especially when you put them in the Plus R. Check it out. Nothing is shaking. It's got all that power, but it's like a kitten purring away when it's just sitting there idling. You can barely even tell the engine's going. Now, don't be fooled by their suggested list price, because he paid a little over 60 grand for this thing. But if you've got 60 grand burning a hole in your pocket, let me tell you, it's not a bad investment, because as long as you keep full insurance in case you run into a tree or something, these things will keep their value. They don't make that many of them. They're going for well over MSRP, and as you've seen, they are screaming monsters to drive around if you want them to be that way. Or you can put them on a comfort setting and get a decent ride and get 28 miles a gallon. I mean, where else are you going to get a screaming race car that you could take the family around in and put it in a comfort mode? It's a Honda. Those 2-liter engines are notorious for lasting forever. Even though it's turbocharged, hey, Honda knows what they're doing. And like I said, this is a unique vehicle. It's going to keep its value. These Civic Type R's keep their value. They've sold them worldwide for a long time. 1997. They've only started selling them recently in the United States, and they all sell out. They're very hard to find. He was on a waiting list since July of last year. And he said there were probably still 50 people in front of him, but the guy said, hey, I got one, come look at it, and he bought it. So if you're looking for a little bitty race car that you can use as an everyday driver, and you don't mind forking out 60 grand, hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea, really. You can have fun. You're not going to lose money like in a normal car because they depreciate so fast. These things, they haven't so far, and I don't think they're going to in the future either, because they don't make that many of them. It's a very specialized market that they're going for. Hey, you get a 2-for-1. You can drive your family around, and when they're not around, you can drive like an absolute maniac. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.